the Awaken Your Ego podcast with Joanne and Ariana. We are a health podcast that explores topics to do with biohacking and self-discovery.
We are also on the self-discovery journey, and we want to attract listeners that are doing the same in order to help them realize they're not alone.
Ego differs from conventional medical spas and wellness centers. We believe that the secret to maximizing one's sense of self is in addressing the entire person, inside and out. We provide state-of-the-art aesthetic treatments as well as lifestyle management and holistic health solutions. We aim to please with our efficient and friendly customer service and guarantee with our scientifically proven alternative therapies and lifestyle optimizations that every patient will leave our care with a boosted ego. Our goal is to help our patients realize the necessity of self-care and to encourage them to prioritize their health and wellness goals. When we make self-care and confidence a priority, then we're able to bring to light our potential for happiness and growth. This podcast is a way to expand our reach so that we are able to spread the word on the importance of self, the whole self, inside and out.
This podcast is for educational purposes only. Please reach out to your medical provider if you have questions about any of the treatments we discuss to see if it's a right fit for you. Now on to our show. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Ego. Today we have Sonia Chavez with us.
Hello everyone.
Welcome. Sonia is our lifestyle educator, for those of you who don't know. Health and wellness has always been a passion of Sonia's. She was a personal fitness trainer for over 10 years and enjoyed watching clients transform into happier and healthier versions of themselves. She began working at Valley Wellness Center in August of 2009 and received a therapeutic lifestyle certification in November 2009. She currently enjoys spending time with her family and learning new things in the wellness arena. She is the one that will help you optimize your diet and lifestyle in order to get to a healthier place. She works hand in hand with our providers at Ego and caters to hundreds of patients per month that are on their wellness journey. So again, welcome, Sonia.
Thank you very much.
Before we get into the podcast questions, we want to ask you some rapid fire.
Okay.
This is just fun.
Okay.
Just to kind of break the ice. The goal is to answer as quickly as possible, whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
And you have a minute. And we will start now.
Okay. What is your favorite month?
January.
What is your favorite animal?
Dogs.
Who do you text the most?
My husband.
What word do you hate hearing?
What word do I hate hearing? Hate.
Mm. Who is your hero?
Oh my gosh. That's a tough one. My mom.
Oh, that's cute. Where did you go on your last vacation?
Italy.
What is your go-to pastime? Like hobby?
Dancing.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite subject in school?
English.
Where did you grow up?
Modesto.
What's your favorite body part?
My legs.
Ooh, nice. You have great legs. What's your favorite word in another language?
Amor.
What's your favorite breakfast?
Eggs.
What's your favorite type of weather?
Sunny.
And a minute.
You did great.
Yes, you do have
I said
great
January
legs.
because it's my birthday, but really probably it's July because
You're like, if I'm being completely honest. No, that's awesome.
So, Sonia, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you originally started in the field of health and wellness.
When I was in my late 20s, I was working a very stressful job, working long hours, and I would get home really late, take long lunches due to the job I was at. So I was eating out a lot. I was cooking dinner late at night, eating late at night. I thought I was eating healthy, but I gained probably 10, 15 pounds in a year working at this job. So at that time, the circumstances allowed me to quit my job. I decided I was going to go back to school. I was going to get in shape. And I hired a personal trainer. In a month, I dropped like 15 pounds.
Nice.
And at first, of course, I was like, oh, this is great. I'm thin. But then the goals started to change. Now I wanted to see muscle. I wanted to see my biceps come in. I wanted to see my legs come in. So then everyone started asking me, like, what are you doing? show me how to eat, show me what to do. And I just fell into personal training. I just decided this is what I love. I love this. I love helping people. I love seeing them make changes. And so I got certified in personal training. I did that for many years. And later on in life, after having a child and going through a divorce, I slowly started noticing that my weight was coming back, and I was very clean in eating. I worked out. I knew exactly what to do, and there was nothing that I could do. I was feeling tired all the time, and I was gaining weight. So I've always been into natural medicine. I never took, I would deny antibiotics. I was always like, I want to do everything as natural as possible. So I went to a doctor at Valley Wellness Center at that time, an integrative medical doctor. In like a month or two, I was down in weight, I was feeling better, and it was low thyroid, and started taking thyroid medication, supplements to help me. I started feeling good again. And soon after that, I started working at Valley Wellness Center. And that's when I started learning more about integrative medicine, understanding, adrenals, understanding how this all plays a role in weight loss, and started helping patients with weight loss programs at that time.
Oh, that's really cool. I had no idea. Like, I really didn't know that it went, your full history. That's really cool that you, one, started on your own quest, and then you're a teacher. You decided to bring on people and show them the way too. Like, that's fantastic.
And when I started learning more about medicine, like just that alone, because, you're taught in training, just eat. At that time, it was no fat. That was back in the day when they didn't, you didn't eat any fat. Egg whites, oatmeal, that was the diet of every trainer. And then I started learning how hormones affect patients, how adrenals affect patients, thyroid. Simple things that, if a patient or a client was not able to lose weight by working out and exercise, there's so many other things that they could do that would optimize their health and their weight loss.
Oh, for sure. No, that's really cool.
What do you feel sets you apart from other lifestyle educators? Like, what is unique about you?
I feel that, one, I love what I do. And I think people see that and they feel that from me. I love helping people. I'm excited for them when I get text messages, pictures of people in the dressing rooms in different sizes. I'm excited for them. And so I know that they feel that. But also, I feel like I can adapt. I'm really good at adapting to every patient. So there's not one diet for every person. We're all individually different. And, if I have a patient, for example, that comes in and, is pre-diabetic, paleo diet would probably be the best thing for them. But if they're eating fast food every day, they're eating out every day, if I put them on a paleo diet and say, this is going to be the best thing for your diabetes, they're not going to do it. So
compliance,
exactly. So I just know how to read people, and I get them to make small changes slowly so that they can start to feel different. They start to see the results, and then slowly they on their own start making those changes. And then, of course, at the end, they're usually like, did you know broccoli's sweet? Did you know this? Like, yeah, because you can actually taste what food tastes like. I always tell patients, like, love food that loves you back. That's something from Dr. Amen. And I love that saying because it's true. Like, if you are eating what's good for you, you're going to feel good. And that's what I love about what we do, with our diet programs in our office, is that it's allowing them to lose weight quickly, but at the same time, I'm educating them on, okay, when you come off of this, you're going to go back to eating, regular, you're not going to be following such a strict diet. I want you to make good choices. And patients usually are successful. At least I'm educating them. They understand what's in a food label by that point, because I educate them on like reading your food labels, understanding what you're putting in your body.
Well, I love that you touched on the fact that you help the whole patient. It's not just, oh, I'm going to teach you a nice diet, or, oh, I'm going to help you, address your physicality, like how physical you are on a daily basis. It's like, no, let's consider all the factors. Like you said, hormones, adrenals, thyroid, diet, exercise, lifestyle.
Right.
It's like, I think you are really good at taking a patient and addressing their unique set of needs. And then furthermore, you're really good at holding their hand and helping them get to that next phase. And that's like, it's fantastic.
I mean, I love that patients, they always tell me they trust me. It's like when I tell them something, it's like, well, I trust you. I'm like, okay, well, that makes me feel good because they know that I'm taking care of them. I'm there to help them, and I'm just as excited to see the results.
Well, and that you have their best interest in mind, and you're not just trying to get their money.
Right.
You know, like some people.
Oh, no. Sometimes patients will tell me, should I continue on? I'm like, you're not following this. Like, no, don't waste your money. Let's find something that you can follow. So I feel that that's my strength, is that I really do love what I do, and I love helping people, and they feel it.
Yeah. And that's huge when you're a client looking for someone to coach you or to teach you the foundations of how to live a healthy life. You want to be able to trust this person, to know, like, it's not for a superficial reason, it's not for my money. They genuinely care about how I feel, and they care about helping me get to a better place.
Right.
So, and I agree. I think you're so genuine with all of your patients, and you have a huge following, and all of them will say the same thing about you.
Thank you.
They love you.
I appreciate that.
What would you say are the type of patients you typically see on a regular basis?
I mean, I have most of my patients, I think, come to me because they're, hitting 40, close to that age and up, because that's when hormones start to change. The things that they used to do before aren't working anymore. And so they're feeling, helpless, like they don't know what to do because what they did before isn't working. So that's probably my typical patient. I do have patients in their 20s too, though, that just have, poor eating habits, and they want to lose weight for a wedding, or they want to lose weight for something coming up. And, I can help them with that. And again, the same thing, I'm educating them, like, listen to how your body feels when you eat these foods. So that when they come off of whatever program they're on, they're able to maintain that weight very easily.
Oh, you totally.
And I see men too. A lot of times patients or people don't know that, like, we see men in our office, and I do have a lot of male patients as well.
That's cool. So what are the different types of weight loss programs that you see patients for?
So HCG diet is probably the biggest one because we've had it for so many years. I've been working with HCG for over 10 years. I love the HCG diet. I know that if patients don't know or people don't understand how it works, sometimes it's like, oh, well, it's a low-calorie diet. You would never, want to be on a low-calorie diet. But the way HCG works is that it elevates those hormone levels, holds on to lean muscle mass. So once you cut your calories down to a low-calorie diet, remove fats and oils from your diet, you actually are pulling from your fat storage for the energy that you need or the calories you need. So you're not hungry, and you're seeing weight loss come off very quickly. The great
Which is
thing,
encouraging.
Exactly, because it's motivating that you're on the scale every day. Sometimes I'm getting those pictures of the scale that, it's motivating to stay on it. It's not something, of course, you want to maintain for forever. It's just a tool to use to get the weight off. And because it's elevating hormone levels, many times patients feel really good, especially patients that are over 40, because those hormones are declining. So they do feel really good when they're on it. They're not hungry, and they get to their weight loss goal. Men can do the diet as well. So that's HCG. Before we even do HCG, we do the liver cleanse, which I think is a great thing that we do in our office, because anytime you want to start a diet, just by removing gluten, dairy, sugar, and trying the liver cleanse can help get rid of the cravings, prepare your body for the diet. It kind of just helps you get into like a clean eating diet. So the cleanse is important, I think, for HCG and any other program that we do. So that's probably the majority of patients that I see is HCG, just because we've had it for a long time. We just started using Mounjaro, which is a diabetic medication. So I'm starting to see patients using that as well. It's still fairly new to me. So I'm finding that patients that are eating clean, like some of my HCG diet patients that have already been eating really clean, are doing the best on Mounjaro because they're continuing to eat clean. So they feel better. They are losing weight. The patients that I've seen that are just coming from, as new patients, starting Mounjaro and may not have been with us for a while, they're the ones that are having the nausea. They're the ones that are
And it's like slower, probably,
right. Like they're not. Yeah.
Seeing.
So I'm encouraging everyone. You really should be eating pretty clean when you're on Mounjaro, because you're going to feel the best. So that's our newest one. And then of course I always have patients that want to do nutritional visits. They just want to come in and just have me help them with, finding recipes or,
keeping them accountable.
keeping them accountable for whatever their goal may be. For some people, it could just be that they just want to just continue to eat healthy and feel good. They may need to do like an autoimmune protocol, where they're removing more things than just, clean eating. And I can help them with that. So we do nutritional visits. Anything else I'm missing? I think that's it. Right? The peptides. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, peptides. So peptide therapy, I love peptides. You know that because I push them to everyone. They're amino acids. The one that I sell a lot of, or I encourage patients to try, is the CJC, because I take that and I love it. And anyone that's trying to stay lean, maintain lean muscle mass, can benefit from CJC. It elevates growth hormone levels naturally, so it helps with that. We have MOTS-c, tesofensine, that are more for suppressing appetite. So those are the ones that I deal with a lot more, but we have many. So
well, and you work super closely with all of our providers, and so I think it's fantastic that it's like if you see a patient that's doing everything right and they're still stalling, it's like, all right, wait, let's do some labs,
right?
Get you over with the provider and see what's off,
right.
And so I think it's awesome because you know a lot about that offhand on your own,
right?
But the fact that you can pass a patient on and address their other issues going on that are inhibiting their weight loss, like that's a really useful tool,
right? Yeah, that's true. And then a lot of times, like for example, a patient may be on HCG, but for whatever reason, they may still have cravings. They may, they feel like they need a little extra help. And so I'll, talk with the provider. Okay, did we look at everything that we could on their labs? Is everything okay? And a lot of times just adding like a peptide might help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you do have a lot of people on multiple overlapping like medications or programs, which is really cool.
Right.
So in your opinion, what are the biggest hangups that clients have when it comes to their weight loss?
So I think many patients have poor relationships with food. I mean, that's we learn, when we're young that we're rewarded with food, or we learn that we have to finish everything on our plate. And a lot of times we learn that, food makes us happy. It comforts us. So
it's a dopamine boost.
Exactly. So we use it for comfort. We use it for stress. And I sometimes have patients that are like, I tell them like, oh, have chicken and broccoli. And they're like, but that's so boring. They want like this, it has to have cream sauce and all this, they want something that makes them feel good. And they don't even realize that that's what they're searching for. Sometimes I even tell patients, I'm like, what are you feeding? Because if you're full and you're craving other things, what is it that you're feeding? And it could, a lot of times I'm kind of like a therapist, because it's a very emotional issue. Weight loss is a very emotional issue, or weight is a very emotional issue, I should say. So we kind of dive into some things like that sometimes, but I think that once patients start to eat better and they start to realize like some of the things that they're doing on their own, they'll come back to me and say, okay, I didn't realize that I was doing this, or I was eating when I'm stressed, or I was just sitting at my desk mindlessly eating.
Bored eating.
Yeah. Right. So that's what I love about what we do, is that I slowly make these little changes in them that require them to really think about what they're doing. Because
a lot of that's subconscious,
right.
Like you said, until someone brings it to your attention,
right.
Like, oh crap, you're right. I totally do eat for comfort, or when I'm sad or whatever.
Right. Yeah, we don't always realize the patterns that we're in.
Right.
One time you told me, and I thought it was such good advice. You were like, there's a difference between hunger and a craving, kind of like what you touched on. And you were speaking about how, like with your kids, they're like, Mom, I'm hungry. And before bed, every kid's always hungry and thirsty and has to go to the bathroom.
Right.
And you would tell them, okay, if you're hungry, go eat an apple.
Right.
And if they didn't want an apple, it's like, okay, you're not hungry.
Right.
And I'm like, that's a really simple example. But even as adults, it's like, I ask myself all the time, like, am I hungry, or am I just craving something crunchy, salty, whatever,
And unfortunately, I mean, the food that's in our grocery stores is so unhealthy. I mean, it's sad to me when I see even the stuff they feed our kids at school. My kids have always taken lunch, and they sneak things, and then they feel sick. So it's unfortunate that there are these foods that have neurotoxins. They call them excitotoxins, neurotoxins, these things that create havoc in our brain, and they make us want more and more and more. And it starts with food. The book that created the Whole30, Dallas Melissa Hardwick's first book on the Whole30, talk about what happens to your brain when you eat Oreo cookies versus steak, and how with Oreo cookies, like, you eat the whole box. Why is that? Because they've hired these scientists to create these chemicals that excite your brain, and you want more and more and more. Whereas with the steak, you're satisfied. You're full. You may not eat the whole steak because you're full. So I think a lot of times it's the food that we're eating that is creating the problems that we have health-wise and weight-wise too. So I just educate them on, what's in your food. I had a couple in my office the other day, and I was just going through food labels with them. That's all we were doing. It was like, okay, well, what about this? And okay, let's pull it up. Let's Google it. What's the ingredients? This is what you're putting in your body. Dr. Mark Hyman has a podcast, and I remember him saying, every cell in your body is made up of the foods that you eat. Do you want your cells to be made up of grass-fed steak and blueberries, or do you want it to be made up of Coca-Cola and Cheetos? So when you really think about it, how you feel and how you look, all of that plays a role in what you're feeding your body.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
true.
And even like you said, the fatigue, the energy level, it's like mental clarity, it all is affected.
And how you age,
Oh, true.
The thing is, most of us have grown up eating that way without realizing it.
Exactly.
So then we start to think that feeling this way is normal.
Right.
And so then it's trying to teach them how to unlearn that and learn something new.
Right.
Like, you're not supposed to feel tired and bloated after a meal.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's a really good point.
Oh, and then, so the biggest hangups. So social drinking too. That's always a big one in my office. So finding that balance, it's not like they can't have it, but how much of it can they have without feeling, the effects of it? And can they make cleaner options? Are there cleaner options out there, things without maybe sugars and things like that?
Well, and it's almost like, I think with drinking specifically in adults, it's like, is it a social issue, or is it you're drinking by yourself at home every night and that's how you get to bed? It's like, those are two different things.
Yeah. And we have a lot of those too. So that's where I'm like, well, let's find other ways to manage your stress.
Well, and one thing I wanted to touch on really quickly that you mentioned, the emotional eating, it's like, what do you feel like are some resources that you give your clients in order to help taper that, when you can tell, like, hey, this is a very mental thing going on? Like, I know someone in the office that you kind of refer patients over to, but do you have other tips and tricks that you use?
Oh, you mean with Lizette? Yeah, I definitely refer patients to Lizette a lot. She's our Reiki, what is her actual title? Mind coach.
She's our consciousness coach.
Consciousness
but she's also
coach,
a Reiki master.
Reiki master, yes. She's helped a lot of my patients. With emotional, I have them journal, write down like what they're eating and why they're eating it. And I tell them not to feel bad about it. Like, if you really want that piece of cake and that is all you're thinking about, then write down that you ate the piece of cake, but write down why you had it. What's the feeling behind it, and how did it make you feel? And sometimes just writing things down a lot of times can help us release things too. So I always encourage them to journal, and sometimes even like if they're upset at someone or upset about something, I tell them to write a letter. You don't have to give it to them. Just write it down and let all your emotions out. Because sometimes that's all you need, and then you feel better.
I love it because you're teaching your patients to eat with intent. And it's like, and if you don't know, like you're saying, I feel like connecting the dots with the intent and the action, that's huge. Because I think sometimes we just think it's mindless, or we're just doing what we think is right. And it's like, you don't even know why you're doing it yet.
Exactly.
So that's a really good tip.
And sometimes patients will say, well, I had a cake, so then I just blew it all day. I just, had this. They go crazy. Like, they'll have everything that they've wanted for the past 2 weeks. Right. And like, don't, why'd you do that? Like, just have what you want and be done with it, and see how you feel. you're probably not going to feel good. So you know why.
Yeah.
I like that you brought up compassion, because I see that a lot too with patients where they really, really want something. And if they do have it, they feel so guilty.
Right.
And they get so hard on themselves.
Right.
Where it's like, this is life.
Right.
You're going to end up eating something unhealthy at some point in your life. It's okay.
Right.
But the point is to find the balance, find the foundation of how you eat normally. And then when it's your cheat meal or something you splurge on, in moderation.
Right.
Like you said, just a control thing. But
exactly.
I really do like that you brought that up, because some patients too, they come to you and they want help, but then they're being so hard on themselves, then it's another thing. Like
they're stuck in the guilt and shame part of it instead of like the next step.
Right.
No, totally. How do you manage? Because I know how busy you are. Obviously, I work with you at Ego all the time, and I know you have a big family. It's like, what are ways you have found that you've been able to manage work-life balance?
Well, first, Sonia, how many are in your family?
Oh, that's true. Let's share that. How many kids do you take care of?
So we have 6 together. So I have a blended family. So big family. But it's easier now because my older girls are all driving now. So, and I have one out of the house, one just back from college. So it is easier. It was definitely harder when they were younger. And I'm fortunate that I have had help. So I have a housekeeper that helps me keep up with the house and stuff, but I'm the cook because I am very picky about what my family eats. So I pretty much cook a lot. And I've learned that, during the week, I just schedule myself. There's 2 days a week that I make a lot of food. I grill. Sometimes it's fancy. Sometimes it's like, I do enchiladas or something that's like, takes more time if I have the time. But many times it's just I'm grilling a bunch of protein and I'm sauteing vegetables and I'm steaming vegetables. My family eats I would say probably 80% paleo. My kids eat more, of course, gluten-free things like rice and pastas and things like that I make. But my husband and I pretty much try to eat as much paleo as we can. That's just what works for our family. Mm-hmm. But I just try to manage like the days that I'm going to cook. I cook like 2 days of the week, and the rest of the time it's kind of like I just throw things together really quick with leftovers of the protein.
Mm-hmm.
Smart.
But it's not always easy. I mean, I feel like there's really no secret to balance, right? Because there's times when one kid might need more attention. One day I may need to put more time into my job, my employer. One day, more time with my husband to keep marriage strong. You're always juggling. I mean, and we've had conversations in the office about mom guilt. Mm-hmm. There's times when we all kind of break down like, okay, we're doing everything we can. And why isn't why
does it still feel like it's not
right?
enough?
Exactly. So, it's just trying to make it all work. I think that trying to find time with the family. So I tried to schedule like trips. I tried to schedule like times that I can spend with the kids, or I'll, the next event that's coming up, let's try to get together and do that. But sometimes it's like, let's just everybody come over on Sunday. If the girls are gone, like, okay, can you guys all come over on Sunday and I'll make, breakfast or brunch, and we'll watch football or watch a movie and just try to spend time together as a family. Mm-hmm. So we try to do that. We were just talking about this the other day because my daughter that's just back from college is planning to move out soon. And I'm like, I'm going to miss her. And I'm like, okay, so now we have to like schedule a Sunday at least once or twice a month that everybody comes over. You just have to try to plan it as much as you can. I try to spend some alone time with my husband too. Like sometimes the kids don't understand that. It's like, well, why are you guys leaving? It's like, because I need time.
I want to stay married.
Yes, exactly. It's like, we need our time too. So you have to just try to make it all work and ask for help. I mean, I have grandmas that help me pick up kids.
Takes a village.
Yes, yes. Ask for help.
When I love that you say like how you prioritize, and sometimes those priorities shift and change, right. But ultimately it's like as long as you're in tune with yourself and your family and your work, you're able to like put one thing ahead of the other and make it all kind of happen.
Yeah.
Plus the ability to adapt too.
Right.
Like,
Right.
okay, this is happening. I can adapt. I can pivot. And I can still keep moving.
And not holding guilt and shame when the plan changes.
Yes.
Right.
Like, totally.
Yeah. There's times when, I mean, it's late at night and I'm still like, you know, making everything for tomorrow for, you know, but I just try to just do it. I mean, sometimes you just can't, and sometimes you do really well at it. The other night, my daughter had something for school that I had to make something for her. Well, she it's gluten free. It's my mac and cheese, but it's gluten free. So I came home. I made a chicken soup because the kids are all like have runny noses and stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to make my chicken soup for them. I grilled a bunch of chicken for the week, and I made her mac and cheese. And I was like, wow, I can't believe I just did all this. Like it was like, it amazed me.
Capable.
Yeah. But you know, I got it done. But sometimes I don't. You know, and you can't beat yourself up. You just have to know that
grace.
they just need to know. Family needs to know that they're loved. That's pretty much how I see it. They just need to know that you love them. You're doing the best you can, and that's all you can do.
No, definitely. When realizing they'll get it later. Like even if they're mad at me now because I didn't help them with something, it's like they'll get what you're going through right now. No, that's awesome.
What are some of the things that you're currently doing in your life to help improve your health or wellness?
So I see our providers at Ego Wellness, and they keep me feeling good, and I'm fighting aging. I'm not going to age. I'm going to be at the gym when I'm 80 years old.
For those of you that can't see her, she's gorgeous.
I work out. I mean, that's my time. That's what I do for me. When we talked about balance, you know, sometimes, I feel like sometimes I feel a little selfish just because I am at the gym. Like I have to explain to the kids, like, you know what? I need my time. I need an hour. I'll be home. Don't worry. Because they'll be like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to the gym. I need my time. So that's really my thing that I do. I lift weights. I love it. It makes me feel good. And then, you know, lately I've been working with Lizette doing Reiki. I feel like that's really helped me kind of just giving me my power back. It just makes me, like, for example, we were talking about balance. It's like, I feel like as women, a lot of times we give to our families, and then we forget to take care of us. And I really feel like she's kind of helped me take that back. We're like, no, you know, sometimes I just need time for myself. I need to do things that make me happy too.
And there's power in setting boundaries.
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
Definitely. I think that mindset piece is something a lot of us try to just push aside. Like, oh, I'm fine. I need to focus on work, family. It's like, but literally like your self-care and your mindset is going to affect everything else that you do. It's like super important.
I've always told my kids that, like, I'm a better mom to you when I come back from the gym. So I need my time.
Well, and you're showing them that, hey, I'm making this a priority. This is important, and it'll teach that they'll want to seek that out hopefully in the future as well. I think that's great.
That's what I was going to say. You're setting the example for them. Because even for me, when I first started working with you, I saw you as like, man, she is in shape. She's fit. She's on all of it. Her diet, like she comes to work, she's well put together. And it just set an example, you know, even for me, where I was like, I want to be like Sonia. Like,
I want to be a woman like that.
Yeah. So to think,
sometimes I fake it really good, but
but still, you know, for your kids,
Yeah.
it's like when you're able to vibrate on that high level and accomplish a lot in a day, it's really motivating and it's inspiring.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have any current goals that you're working on?
So I am going back to school. So
Good for you.
Yeah, I know. I put that off again, like, you know, raising a family. It's like, oh, I don't have time. I have kids going dance, gymnastics, all of that.
Especially when you have 6.
So I kind of put it off. I stopped, and so I actually signed up for spring semester. I've got like 4 classes I think I have to do. Then I can transfer to get finally my dietitian degree, which is what I've always wanted.
That's awesome.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm also doing a health coach certification. Back when I started, there was no health coach. It was lifestyle educator. So this is through the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy, I think it's called. And so I'm enrolling in that too for March of next year. So I'll have that.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I love this field. I love it. So I mean, I listen to all these different podcasts that talk about, health and wellness, and I just want to dive into it more.
Well, and you live and breathe it too. So I feel like those things will come really easy to you. But that's really awesome that you're like continuing to educate yourself and learn, and you're not just like stopping.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, good.
Well, we're really happy to have you on our podcast. For those who don't know, you're actually going to be joining us for our manifesting event on December 10th, and we're going to be talking about body goals. So for those of you who want to come and see Sonia live and hear her motivational talk, again, December 10th, 10 to 1. Yeah. Admission is free.
Yes. I'm excited for that event.
Yes.
I feel like it'll be really helpful in gearing up for the new year and getting excited about manifesting the year that you want.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Your Ego, a podcast that explores biohacking and self-discovery. We hope you follow us on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date on what we're working on in your area.